Success me, yo!
What's up, everybody? Tyler McLaren from House Edge Media and the House Edge Sports Network Football Podcast. Glad that you guys are able to join us here today for the inaugural HESN Football Podcast. To those listeners who have listened to my voice in the past, you guys might have heard me on such podcasts as Nakafa.tv, OVFL Podcast, CCHL Network Podcast, all those types of podcasts that House Edge Media has been producing over the last few years. And for all those people that are listening, once again, I want to say thank you. The feedback on podcasts is always super positive. They love that we do them. They like that we take the time to do them to, spread the love of the sport and support the kids and the leagues that we all love in the city of Ottawa. And because of that support, that sort of led House Edge Media to sort of change a little bit in the structure of our organization. And we've created something called the House Edge Sports Network. And this is the HESN Football Podcast, where we're going to focus on all things football, basically other than the CFL, because they got a lot of coverage on TSN 1200 and other podcasts in the city. And they do a great job covering it. And we feel that we don't need to worry about what they do, because there's a lot of other great sports and football that are going on in the city that we want to cover. So we want to thank you and welcome you to the inaugural episode of the HESN Football Podcast. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to sort of get a recap of where we are in football in Ottawa. As everyone really knows, Ottawa is primarily, it's a football town. If you really want to talk about, it's a sports town, bottom line. Like basketball-wise, we do well. Hockey, we're great. We're just a real big sports town. And, I'm proud to be from Ottawa, and I'm proud that our sports always do represent. And we're going to start just by quickly reviewing the OVFL teams, how the local Ottawa OVFL teams did this year in the OVFL football in the summer. A lot of these kids have been playing football for a long time in Nakafa, and they're we're big fans of theirs, and they're big supporters of Nakafa.tv and House Edge Media endeavors. And we're going to give them a little love here, and we're going to start with the Bantam division at the OVFL. And as always, the two of the best teams were Myers and Cumberland, the Bantam division. Coach Karate and Coach LaChance obviously going button heads, going at it 3 times this year. There were 3 battles of Cumberland and Myers, and Cumberland was able to secure all 3 of them, 2 regular season wins, and then a good victory in the playoffs to really solidify the fact that Cumberland was the best team coming out of the Eastern Conference this year. And they faced up against Cambridge in the OVFL Championship, and it was going to be a tough battle. Cambridge upset the heavily favored Essex Ravens at the Bantam division, and they were a big team, that Cambridge team, and the Cumberland Panthers, that is, sort of faced a team that they hadn't faced all year in the sense of their physicality. These guys were big, they were bruising, they ran an American quote-unquote style with lots of inside runs, big fullback, big running back, short passes. And it showed, and it was tough for the Cumberland Panthers to really get out of that sort of. They slowed the game down, the Cambridge did, and Cumberland Panthers weren't able to really get into their offensive rhythm. If you can go to HESN, you can check out the HESN YouTube channel. We have the championship game there, and you guys can check it out. There were a few drop passes in key situations in that game that really hurt the Cumberland Panthers. These guys are the most sure-handed receivers I've seen in the OVFL, the Bantam division. And they had a tough time to pressure the game. These guys are big defensive guys, tight windows. But at the end of the day, those guys deserve huge amounts of credit. The Cumberland Panthers had a fantastic season. So everyone here at House Edge Media and the House Edge Sports Network says congratulations to Coach Karate and all the players there on the great season. And we hope to see how you guys can do next year and maybe find a way to win that Bantam Championship and get that first one for Cumberland Panthers. At the junior varsity division, the Cumberland Panthers had a good regular season. I think they finished 6-2 in the regular season. They ended up losing in the playoffs to Toronto Thunder, the same team that they lost to, one of the teams they lost to in the regular season, and very disheartening loss in the playoffs. They were up 20-0. They ended up losing the game. 30, I can't remember off the top of my head, 38-25 or something, but they had that game and they were leading 20-0. They let it slip away. I know Coach Steves and Coach Joes and all the players at the JV division for the Cumberland Panthers are never going to forget that one, but nonetheless, it was a successful year because they had a mass exodus of coaches and graduating players, and they were able to have a great regular season, and they got beat by a team that you can't argue with was better than them. They lost to them twice. So, hats off to the Thunder, hats off to the JV Cumberland Panthers on a good year, on a tough year, even though wasn't as good as they were hoping. Still an overall successful year. The other local football team in the OVFL was the JV Myers Riders, and they have been sort of runners-up the last couple of years in the OVFL. They've had a couple of tough championship games the last couple of years. Last year, they faced off against the London Junior Mustangs. Real tough game there. The Mustangs came in with a good game plan, executed it well, and won the game. And also the year before, they ended up facing Alex Salichev, who was an unbelievable running back for Cambridge, who shredded them up and down the field. They lost that, and this year they were back in there looking to not lose for a third consecutive year. And they were able to find some redemption, and they ended up taking 45-42. It was an unbelievable game. House Edge Sports Network wishes we could have been there to cover it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to. So we want to give our hats off to the junior varsity Myers Riders on their first championship in the last, at least in the last 3 years since I've been sort of following OVFL football. So hats off to them, all the good players and all the guys that we know, all our athletes from HESN who play on the Myers Riders JV team. Congratulations on that championship. And at the varsity division, the Cumberland Panthers had another improving year. They were 4-4 last year. This year they finished 5-3 with 2 overtime losses. So they really had 12 points, which turned out to be a huge benefit. They got a home playoff game against the Metro Toronto Wildcats, and they beat them in the rain. And then they went against Myers and they got handled by Myers. But a playoff victory and a home game and an improvement on record is a great thing for Ron Raymond and his boys at Cumberland. They have a 3-year plan, so next year they really hope that they can take this team to the next level and see what they can do and really run for that varsity OVFL championship. But they had a great year, and we were really close with that team. And I sort of want to give a shout out to all the boys there that support House Edge Media and the House Edge Sports Network from the Cumberland Panthers varsity squad. Great group of guys, great group of coaches, and they do it right there. And we love supporting the Cumberland Panthers organization. The other team that from Ottawa, Myers Riders, they had obviously a successful year, but to Myers standards, it was obviously a huge disappointment. The streak has finally ended. And I believe 33 games in a row, they were undefeated at the OVFL varsity division. They ended up getting their butts whooped by Essex. Hats off to Essex. Huge victory for the Essex Ravens. I know Coach Mills and the boys down in Windsor obviously are extremely proud of their accomplishments, and they have a right to be. They dominated the game. I think they scored on their first 5 possessions. They could pretty much do whatever they wanted against that Myers Riders team, which has never happened. Basically, Myers got Myers'd. And, you never like to see that for a local team. But at the end of the day, Essex earned it. And I'm going to tip my hat to those who deserve it. So Essex Ravens, huge win. And, I think it's going to be good for the Myers Riders varsity guys. Sort of lets them refocus and be like, okay, now they got some more motivation to come back next year hungrier than ever. So that's going to be really exciting. So that's sort of the OVFL recap. Again, another huge year for Ottawa football in the OVFL. They were able to represent well, and obviously the base that NCAFA provides these kids in their younger years allows them to be successful provincial football players. And that clearly shows. We do have a big population to draw from. We do know that. But the foundation of the sport is within these kids before they even get to OVFL. And that is the most important factor within all this. So congratulations to the Myers Riders and the Cumberland Panthers at all divisions for successful years. And we'll be excited to keep an eye on who's going to make the team next year and how many more championships we can bring to Ottawa in the OVFL. Now, the other team that we're going to start following a little more at the House Edge Sports Network this year is the Ottawa Sooners. And this is an organization obviously deeply rooted in the history of sports in Ottawa. It's one of the most prestigious, I believe they play in the OFC franchises. And they obviously are coached by John Buck, good friend of the program, and a great guy, great coach. And Rob Raystrick obviously running a tight ship over there, good local guy, doing great things in the community as well. And we're happy to be working with them. We got a few players that we know from the Sooners that we've been able to meet this offseason and really get to know, and hopefully we can follow their career a little bit. And the House Edge Sports Network is always there to support athletes from any team. And the Sooners are not exempt from that, and we're happy to work with a few players. You guys can go to hesn.co, check out who that is. Shout out to Graham Kelly, though, getting it all set up. He's our inaugural Sooners member. So anyone have any questions from the Sooners, you guys can get in touch with us at hesn.co. Facebook, Twitter, we're all over it. Social media, House Edge Media does it big time with videos and all over that. So if you guys have any questions, let us know there. Their season had actually gotten underway last week, and they had a big victory, 32-0. I was talking to a couple of guys from the team, and they said that they felt that they were extremely prepared, and they didn't really have too many bad things to say about their opponent. But I do know that the Ottawa Sooners felt that they had a good game plan. They came in, they dominated on the ground. All their guys got a lot of touches. Their defense obviously did a great job shutting them out. So great job, Ottawa Sooners, starting the season 1-0, and I believe that they're going to be playing this weekend, Keith Harris Field, Saturday at 7 o'clock. I believe it's Windsor. Huge rivalry there between the two teams. So if anyone's looking for something to do on Saturday night, check out a great football game. Keith Harris, 7 o'clock, Ottawa Sooners. Go check it out. Should be great. Hopefully we're going to be there, but it depends on our schedule with NCAFA, which games we're going to be at. But, good job on the Sooners for getting going there. The other two teams we're going to keep an eye on at the HESN Football Podcast because, we really want to make sure that they get the recognition they deserve because they work so hard are the two OUA teams, the Carleton Ravens and the Ottawa UGGs, who really are trying to oh yeah, that's just someone coming in here. There's no problem. Really trying to separate themselves from the rest of the country. We know that Carleton had a winless first season, and they were 500 last year, and I know that they got a ton of expectations this year, and we all had seen their schedule and how that sort of works in their favor a little bit. But they had an exhibition game against Sherbrooke this weekend, and they ended up taking it home 16-12. Dexter Brown, he had 2 touchdowns. So they're going to play Queens next week in their season opener. They're going to head down the 401 and face off against the Golden Gales, which have a ton of local talent on that team, tons of NCAFA.TV inaugural members and HESN members as well. So great on those boys. So that should be a great game. So to anyone, make sure you guys go check the OUA.TV, check out that live feed. Great service from the OUA, so you guys can always check out your friends and family playing the great sport of football in the OUA. And also the Ottawa UGGs, they went to Montreal this weekend. They battled the defending champions, the Carabins of Montreal. And tough game, obviously, against the defending champions. And Ottawa U got their butt whooped. I think 36-3 was the final. But a good learning experience for all those guys. Got a lot of guys in. I think both Steve Samara and head coach at the GGs, what's his name there? Barisi, both got a lot of guys in. I both saw both the articles about the story, and they both were excited. They got 65 to 70 guys in both times. A lot of repetitions for these young guys against some tough competition. So that's really good on that. So they have a bye week 1. So Ottawa actually has a bye, and then week 2, they're at home against Queens. So that's September 5th, I believe. You guys should check that out. It's going to be a great game, Queens and Ottawa. All these games between these 3 teams, Carleton, Ottawa, and Queens, is for a playoff spot because not all 3 of them can make it, most likely. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for those games. Great football, lots of great kids in there, lots of local talent, a lot of great guys. As you know, Nate Bahar worked with us last year. We got a lot of great kids on both teams, and we want you guys to support football in Ottawa. And that's basically the quick recap that I wanted to go over about sort of what's been happening in the world of football before NCAFA got started and OVFL and all that stuff. And that's where we are right now. NCAFA starts next week. And Midget starts, actually NCAFA started this week, my apologies, and Midget starts next week. So after this weekend, we're going to have NCAFA in full effect, CIS in full effect, and CFL is obviously burning bright right now. So football's alive and well, as always, in the capital. And when we come back from this quick little break coming up right here, we're going to be talking with my main man, Jesse Card, a little bit more in depth about what the House Edge Sports Network is, what it offers athletes, and why we're doing things the way that we're doing them. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right, guys, welcome back to the House Edge Sports Network Football Podcast, or the HESN Football Podcast, as we call it here at House Edge Media. But right now, we're going to be talking with my business partner and best friend, Jesse Card. Obviously, we have been building this House Edge Media, NCAFA.TV, House Edge Sports Network brand over the last 5 years. We're really happy with where it is. We're really proud of what we've accomplished so far. this is just skimming the surface. This is the tip of the iceberg with what we got going on next. And one of the things that Jesse and I have always been talking about was how can House Edge Media really elicit some change and really find a way to make a difference in these kids' lives. And yes, videos are great and highlight videos and all that stuff, but what these kids really need is they need good advice, they need true advice, they need all these things that are going to help them be successful human beings, and we want to use sport as that catalyst to allow that to happen. Now, the House Edge Sports Network is really the culmination of all these ideas that we've been sort of thrown at the canvas the last few years. And I'm going to let Jesse Card talk to you guys a little bit about what the House Edge Sports Network does and how it can really, really change the lives of a lot of these athletes.
Well, thanks for having me on, Tyler. Like you said, the HESN is a new initiative that we've been working on. It's really something that we feel we needed to do and kind of evolve some of the previous ideas that we did with featured players on the Kappa.tv and doing highlights for the players around the city of Ottawa and helping them be introduced to some of the connections at the CIS level. But the HESN really is kind of a new model and something that we have done a lot of research to see what other people have been doing around North America, and we want to take a different angle and a different approach on it. So the House Edge Sports Network is more or less a media sports club. And like we were doing before, we're offering all the same recruitment tools and support to players to help advance their careers. But we're also going to bring a few other things to the table. We've tried to make it a low monthly cost, and we've also put tools in place for players to be empowered to go find sponsorship for their membership and even beyond that to go towards some of their priorities, whether it be league fees or equipment or specialty camps or training sessions. We want kids the opportunity and players to be able to access those things. So HESN is designed to do that. It's only been around for a little while, but we're going on to about, I think, between 80 and 100 registered members right now. So it's growing every day, and we're appreciative of people visiting that site. If you haven't been there yet, check it out. See what we're doing. Click on the different tabs. That's hesn.co. One of the unique things that we're really excited about with this is we're trying to fill out the calendar year. Now, in terms of football, the sport is a quick season, as we all know, and then it kind of goes underground and it's dormant for the better part of the winter. There are kids that are training off season, and there are a lot of great programs in the city that can help kids, increase their strength and speed and mental edge of the game. We're working with Elite Performance Academy, and we have nothing but great things to say about the coaches there. That's Coach Pat Woodcock and Donnie Ruiz. They do a phenomenal job, and that's one of the things that we would love to have more kids have the opportunity to access in the off season. But what we're doing is we're going to bring the members together once a month, and this is a free workshop that we're going to put together that's going to cover many different topics. The first being on September 20th. It's going to be able to, everyone that's an HESN member is going to be able to come down to the House Edge Media offices and studio located off of Walkley. And we are going to showcase St. James Preparatory School down in Maryland, where a few ex-NCAFA players are currently down and going to Tyler Raymond, a very talented quarterback that I first saw in the Pee Wee level. And also Steven Schwartz, who is a 15-year-old that is heading down there this fall as well. So not only are we going to showcase that school, some of the campus features, talk a little bit about what it takes and what is involved if a Canadian football player was interested in going down to a prep school. We believe that that is information and education that should be accessible to most players so that they can make an educated and informed decision on where they want to take their career. Tyler and I, he mentioned we've been doing this for going on 5 years now, and one trend is we've seen a lot of players at the earlier ages very interested in this prep school option. So we are going to have an interview that we're going to play that day. That's an exclusive interview with the head coach of the St. James Preparatory School. Coach Root. And we're also going to talk to Tyler Raymond and Steven Schwartz about their experience down there. So just unbelievable content that has never been done before, and we invite all our members to come with their parents, and everyone is able to bring one friend that isn't a member to introduce them to this community that we are building. So that's really what HESN is about. We want to build mentors. At the moment, we have a few NCAA hockey mentors that are going to be helping the hockey community. Felix Chamberlain, who just got a full ride to Canisius College in Buffalo, Andy Sturts, who is playing down at Penn State. And at football, in the football side of things, we have a very talented and determined free safety at the Oklahoma Sooners who has agreed to become part of the HESN team as a football mentor. And we're definitely going to be talking to him at one of the HESN Volumes workshops that are going to be going on monthly. So that's a little bit of an intro into what HESN. I know you guys have probably been seeing more emphasis on HESN, and we're really excited about it. So keep your eye out for that. Visit hesn.co, and memberships are $25 a month. You can get somebody to sponsor that for you, and we, if you want to know more about how we can help you get your membership sponsored and get part of this community, get your highlight done, get a profile, all that sort of stuff, just write us an email. Simply, we always answer.
Well, thanks, Jesse. That's great information. As you know, I obviously know all that information, but the key thing that I want people to understand is that this is a tool and it's a resource for people. This isn't something that these meetings aren't something you get charged for. This is a perk of being a member in the House Edge Sports Network. And for $25 a month, you get your highlight tape, you get your profile, and you get access to this great information. And we're not talking just about this athlete. We're talking about for the families. We're talking about for his friends so that they can learn and they can become members. And we believe that everyone deserves to have this information, and everyone needs to have this information before they decide what they're going to do in their future, because you know what? You only get one chance to play the sport. You got one real go at it, and if some people are lucky, they might get a second chance, but you really only get one chance. And we want to make sure that all the momentum that kids build in their NCAFA careers, and then OVFL, and then CIS, and then potentially CFL or NFL or whatever it is, it's all towards one singular movement. So thank you, Jesse, for introducing and letting people know a little bit what HESN is doing. Obviously, go to hesn.co, check it out for yourself. Play around on the website. There's tons of great information. Go to the HESN YouTube channel, House Edge Media YouTube channel. Go there. Tons of great content that you guys can help support. And anyone that you know that wants to support an athlete, tell them to go there. And there's tons of options to help support sports in Ottawa. So we're going to take one last quick break right here, and then we're going to come back with the main focus of what the podcast is about, and that's the NCAFA season. And we're going to be looking at the Bantam division, the Midget division a little bit, and sort of introducing you guys about what we're going to be doing this year for the year. All right, guys, we're back with the last segment of the House Edge Sports Network football podcast, first episode of the season and of the HESN football podcast. So we're going to get right into a little bit of what we're going to be doing this year with the Midget and Bantam division. So as everyone knows, the last few years, House Edge Media has been working with NCAFA, really trying to help build the brand around the sport of football. Increase registration, make sure people are educated about the safety, make sure that kids understand that there's a lot of benefits about playing the sport, and that there is a path that football can lead you to help further your advancement as a person and become a better human being by playing the sport of football. And our first year, we filmed every Bantam game. We believe that the Bantam division was the showcase division where kids really need to make a name for themselves if they're serious about being football players at the next level. So we filmed every single Bantam game. I believe that was 61 games, not counting playoff games, and then we did the playoff games and the championship games. So it was around 75 games we did that season, and we really felt that we did a great job introducing the people to what we can do and what NCAFA.tv can really be. Last season, we evolved significantly as a company and as NCAFA.tv, and we wanted to focus a little more on specific matchups. The one thing we found our first season when we filmed all the games was that there were some discrepancies between the talents the talent pools of some teams, and that led to not great video of the games, and thus not great marketability of some of these games. So what we're going to be doing, what we did last year, was we filmed specific matchups that we predetermined that would be based on our knowledge of the rosters. That would be a good matchup. Some rivalry games like the South Ottawa Mustangs versus the South Gloucester Raiders beside each other in territory. And we feel that was way better at promoting the positives of football. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to watch a team lose 60-0, but you also don't want to watch a team win 60-0. You want to see a good game where both teams are competing. And we feel last year with the House Edge, the NCAFA.TV Game of the Week, we were able to really show the city how great some of these football games really are. And we really wanted to expand on that idea this year. And so we did. So what we're going to be doing this year is we've got some new staff members at House Edge Media who are extremely talented in graphic design and filmmaking. So what we've been able to do is, with their help, we've been able to sort of develop some awesome graphics and some awesome sort of templates that we're going to use for this season, so we can film as many games as we can. We're going to be filming games at Bantam. We're going to be filming games at Midget. We're even going to be filming games at Pee Wee. And if we're lucky, we might even get some mosquito games and some tight games. We really want to make a big splash this year. We want to make sure that we have sort of a bit of opportunity for everybody to get some visibility now with this House Edge Sports Network sort of being launched. And we feel that if we can really make sure that people understand that there's tons of positive things happening with football in Ottawa, all the way from the CFL all the way down to the Tyke division, that we will really be able to get people to support it and really understand that this is a great thing for kids to be involved in, and families as well. To get right into the nitty gritty about actually some of the games that have already happened this year, House Edge Sports Network was at the Bell Warriors versus the Nepean Eagles Bantam game on Friday night, and my goodness, it was a doozy. It was a great football game. The weather was fantastic. The field was a little wet, so it did sort of it did lead to some sloppy play, some bad snaps, some fumbles, and slipping and sliding over the place. But at the end of the day, the Bell Warriors won 22-16. A great showing for that team. They got a great quarterback with James Keenan, who we know from the Myers JV Championship team. They have tons of great talent. On defense, they got Malik. They got some new players they have come around. They got a great running back. Sammy did a fantastic job in the game. They played against Honoreal and some of the guys there at the Eagles and Nepean. It was a great football game, but Bell Warriors are 1-0, and it was a big win. That was our first game. You guys can go check that out on NCAFA.TV. You also can go to HESN YouTube channel. There's some great content there. That game is up there. This weekend, we're going to be all over the place throughout NCAFA. There's going to be some great matchups happening at the Bantam division and at the Midget division, because Midget didn't start last week. Midget actually starts this week, and the benefit to that is we were able to sort of talk to some of the teams and determine if that they were the ones that would be getting the filming. But since we've talked to them, we've actually decided that we're going to be filming more games than just the game of the week. So when I look at my calendar here, I really see that there's some great matchups. On Friday night, we have the Norsemen battling the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are supposedly going to be a powerhouse at Midget. They got Jacob Spinella playing quarterback. They got Kyrie Fletcher back, plus tons of other talent from the Myers OVFL varsity team. And they're the defending champions last year in Midget as well. So make sure you guys check out that game. Also on Friday night, we're going to be doing the West Carleton Wolverines versus the Rideau Red Blacks, which is a great matchup of two sort of new franchises not new franchises, but sort of newer franchises trying to build the name for themselves. And so that's going to be a great matchup. And we're really excited to see that game. Saturday, we got a great matchup between the Panthers and the Bengals. That is a huge rivalry. Anyone knows the Cumberland Panthers and the Orleans Bengals are sort of right beside each other there on the map. So that's going to be a huge rivalry. All those kids play together at OVFL. So it's going to be some fireworks there. I know that for a fact. And also the Bell Warriors are going to be playing the South Gloucester Raiders. So House Edge Sports Network is going to be at all four of those games, and we're going to make sure that all those players and all those teams get some great exposure. We're going to have some great stuff coming out this week. We're really excited to be back with NCAFA and working on football, trying to promote the sport. I want to thank everybody for listening to the inaugural episode of the HESN Football Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler McLaren. I'll be here every week updating you guys with what's going on in football. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always reach out at us. HEM Tyler on Twitter. We got Facebook, YouTube. Check us out all there. I want to thank everyone for their support, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.